Welcome to the agenda on Dominion Brokers Group. I am Chike Ubogu. Let's start with events that happened yesterday. President Bola Tinubu has rescheduled his official visit, to Kaduna State. Instead, he will travel to Benue State on Wednesday, June 18, 2025, as part of renewed efforts to foster peace and address the present conflict affecting communities in the state. According to a statement by Bayo Nonuga, presidential media aide, the president's visit aims to assess firsthand the recurring crisis that has claimed numerous lives and caused significant destruction. And during his stay, President Tinubu will meet with all stakeholders, including traditional rulers, political, religious, community leaders, and youth groups, to seek lasting solutions to the hostilities. In preparation for the visit, President Tinubu has already dispatched the Secretary to Government of the Federation, the Inspector General of Police, heads of intelligence agencies, the National Security Advisor, and the Chairman of the Senate and House Defense Committees to Benue State. The President is expected to hold a town hall meeting with all stakeholders during the visit. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has condoled the people of Benue State after the recent massacre by marauders. Let's get to listen to President Bola Tinubu this morning.
Team of Benue, why I sympathize with the Benue people. I've spoken to the governor. The leadership and people of Benue should accept our condolences and tried hard, very, very consciously, to maintain peace, harmony among themselves. I've always said this, that we are one single, huge family living in the same house, stay in different rooms, but living together in harmony will be the result of our diversity for prosperity. We should be able to manage our anger and frustrations. I sympathize those who have lost their life. I will adjust my program and go see Benue people on Wednesday.
All right, however, the Inspector General of Police arrived Benue and has assigned additional specialized units to halt the violence in the state. Where the Inspector General of Police with his team combing the village where human beings were massacred, where may the souls of those who have departed rest in peace. Well, in another development, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has arraigned Godwin Emefiele, former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, over the illegal acquisition of 753 units housing estate in Abuja. Emefiele was arraigned on Monday before Yusuf Halilu, judge of the Federal Capital Territory High Court, on 8-count charge. He pleaded not guilty to all charges, but the EFCC accused Emefiele of conspiring with Eric Ocheme, who is currently at large, to acquire the property located at Plot 109, Cadastral Zone C09, Lokogoma District, Abuja. Halilu granted Emefiele bail in the sum of 2 billion naira with two sureties in like sum. Within the jurisdiction, well, the sureties must own property worth 2 billion naira in either Aso Drive, Maitama, or Wuse 2 within the jurisdiction of the court. The court directed that Emefiele must submit his travel documents and meet the bail conditions on or before Wednesday next week, or risk being remanded in custody. Well, joining me to discuss this and more this morning, John Izuchukwu. It's good to have you in the studio this morning.
Same here, Chike. Good morning.
Well, let's start from Mr. President visiting Benue State, and I will just make this very brief. Yes, eventually he called off his trip to Kaduna. That's some show of humanity. Maybe Mr. President now has a human face, after all.
He's the commander-in-chief, and everything will rise and fall on his table. It's the right thing to do. Like we say, he's the father of everybody. So, and incidentally, he had a huge chunk of votes from Benue. So we hope that this visit will translate into drastic effort that will recover the losses of these people. We hope it will not be another political milestone, political score points, yeah. You know, just to say that we identified with them when they were in their tough time, because this is actually an ineptitude of leadership. The primary function of government is to provide security for lives and property, and I think that they gaslight us a lot. I have not been seeing them apologize to the state, to the people. We have failed. This is not, we failed you. We couldn't provide security of lives and property. And then they are grandstanding and bringing up issues as if they should go and reconcile with those who are killing them.
That might
it
just
makes
be
no
some
sense.
political ego.
No. You see, leadership. Leadership is something that, you know, show one of the key elements is empathy. You should, and empathy is a sign that you are sincere. Do you understand, Chike? So because these people have been killed, they gave you their powers to take over, you know, to watch over them. You have not been able to do that. They've been killed in their number. The properties have been destroyed. I think that they should apologize to these people that we have failed. But what we have seen is himself and the governor have been grandstanding and then trying to put the blame on the people for not living in harmony with those who have insisted over the years to take over their lands.
But once we get to this point, before the security agencies, maybe with their heads, get to Benue State, Benue has been in crisis. There was a year, I guess 2019, where about 108 were buried in a mass grave in just one day in the same Benue State. And now it's becoming a recurring decimal. Do you think right now Mr. President and his team of security heads will put this to bed?
Well, we hope so. We can only hope for the best. But you asked me, what's the security plan? What's the architectural design of this government to deal with security issues? Because security issues do not just emanate now. It's been there in the last APC administration. Yeah. So one would expect that the master strategist himself is coming on board with
nip it in the bud,
with strategies to deal with it. But again, this is the same lip service we got all through.
Maybe he's a strategist in political higi-haga, not security matters.
You see, very central to our survival as a nation, the issue of security.
Okay.
That is reinforcing. You know, I said yesterday, security, economy, they are mutually reinforcing. Because of lack of insecurity in the middle belt, the food production are drastically dropped. We're having a rising cost of food today because most of these areas who produce more food and supply to us down south, they are no longer producing the same quantity of food they produce. So you're having food insecurity. As long as a man is not able to feed, the Abraham Maslow hierarchy of need, is not able to feed, to wear clothes and have a house to live, if he sees an opportunity to be involved in criminality, he will be involved in it. And he will consider more threat to the society, to the nation. And you will now budget more on security, leaving areas like health, like education, or infrastructure, alone, because so much has been put into security. And all of this began by us not prioritizing our needs and what should be done first.
All right, let's move on swiftly to the Emefiele saga. He has been granted a 2 billion naira bail, and then with 2 sureties in like sum too. Were you expecting this? Were you expecting more than this?
That guy can't be poor again. The kind of money he has stolen, the kind of money, the investment he has across all over the world. You see, Nigeria is a very funny country. You need to steal so much so that by the time they know they will be taken to court, they know they will be caught someday.
So there will be a
so
plea
by
bargain.
the time you go to court, at the least, you will lose 50% of what you have stolen. But what you have as 50% can take care of you till you die and take care of children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren. That is psychology. But you see, is madness. Because you are thinking of stealing to save for 10 years, 20 years to come. You don't even know the dynamics of the economy. That's a particular policy can come up and mess up all your investment.
The black man seemed to still be in a dilemma.
So I wasn't expecting anything special because he's not the first person. Several others have gone there, they got bail, and then they knew that this is where you're going to end. And then the judiciary and fellow lawyers who are out there, of course, they need money. I mean, why did they go to law school? Is to make a case for you. So they're making case for him. And then, of course, I don't think any Nigerian should be surprised about the outcome of his case.
All right, moving on, federal government policies in the last 2 years have favored the political class and a group in the business class, either by design, deliberate acts of commission or omission. Some section of Nigerians say the policies were, by design and execution, anti-people. How true is this? The desirable yet over-criticized twin policies of fuel subsidy removal and forex harmonization seem to favor government and the political class, unleashing hardship on the citizens. And I ask again, how true is this? Joining the conversation this morning is a finance expert and a seasoned chartered accountant, Peter Bidemi Olaoluwa. Good morning. It's good to have you on the agenda this lovely Tuesday morning.
Good morning, Chike. It's my pleasure to be here. And good morning, listeners at home. Well, the question you've asked is a good question, and the removal of subsidy and the unification of exchange rate. Yes. Fortunately, you brought the right person to your station this morning. I work with an oil and gas company. The company is into downstream sector. We import refined petroleum products. Subsidy came in. Yeah, subsidy is real, to be factual.
It's real?
It's real because the landing cost of the PMS is more than the price the government asks the depot to be selling it. We call it ex-depot price. Yeah. For example, if I land the petroleum at 145 per liter, and government said the ex-depot price is 100 naira, that should 45 is subsidy.
Yes.
So government has to pay me the subsidy. If not, I will make loss. You get it? Yeah. Now, but there are some dubious practices by the independent petroleum owners, and the dubious practices brought in the way of enriching themselves at the detriment of the citizen.
You're part of the, you're a member of that sector of the economy.
Yeah.
You work in the oil and gas.
Yes.
And then you talked about these dubious practices.
Yeah.
What form of these dubious practices are we looking at?
Yeah. Thank you very
so
much.
Nigerians really know what is really happening.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, you know, there is a slang in oil and gas industry. We say oil and gas business is a dirty business.
Dirty business.
Yeah. Yeah. So part of the part of the sharp practices is backloading of petroleum products.
Backloading.
The ship or the vessel will come, we berth, and then discharge the products, and before you know it, they backload it into the ship again and take it to another country.
Oh,
That's backloading.
interesting.
Yeah. And at the same time, on that same product, they will present documents and go and claim subsidy from federal government. So in that case, the citizens are losing. Do you get it? Now, removal of subsidy, when President Buhari announced that he's removing subsidy, and it did not include the provision for subsidy in the budget that President Tinubu will run with. I look at it that this may be difficult for President Tinubu. But look at it. Everybody have adjusted now. Everybody has adjusted one way or the other. Though it impacted on the standard of living, the price we are buying gas to move around, the price we are buying diesel to run our businesses. It has impacted on it. But notwithstanding, one thing that is constant is change. Yeah, we need to face reality. See, the long-run effects of subsidy removal, we can see it now. The allocation to state government has tripled.
Okay, so we're coming there. You've talked about the reality on ground of fuel subsidy.
Yes.
However, the fuel subsidy was reduced. Or it was to reduce, it's been there, was just to reduce the price, the actual price of fuel in the market. So why then did we discontinue it?
Okay, thank you very much. Look at it. There are some things I will not be able to say here, because I was an insider.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
I'm no longer there now.
Okay.
You see, that came a time whereby our subsidy government was unable to pay us. And because of that, we borrow money from bank. Interest was accumulating. And then we presented the case to the government. The government, you need to pay us this. If we don't pay us this is the financial repercussion. And we are going to pass it to the federal government, whether you like it or not, because it's a regulated product. And on regulated product, anything that affected the government will bear the burden. For example, at a time when we're establishing the letter of credit, LC, that's a financial document that gives comfort to the offshore supplier. The dollar may be at 100 naira to a dollar then. By the time I want to liquidate the LC, because federal government delayed in paying my subsidy, the dollar may have gotten to 150 naira to a dollar. There is a 50 naira difference.
Differential.
Thank you very much. We call it FX differential.
Yeah.
I pass it to the government. It's not my burden. You get it? Now, you will see that government at times will go and borrow money to finance the subsidy payments, which to me as a finance expert doesn't make sense. I just came back from US now. I located the US for one reason or the other. Now, in US, we pay heavily in buying gas. Government is not subsidizing the gas we are buying.
Are you actually paying heavily, or are you looking at the value of your naira to the dollar?
No, heavily. The price is not stable over there. It's a dictate. You see, we have a platform that regulates the price of crude oil. in the world market. For diesel, we have ICE, and then that's the price that dictates what each marketer will be selling. So in US, the price obtainable in the market is what they will be selling to the citizen. And then the citizen will bear the brunt. Government will just provide an enabling environment. You get it? Yeah. Now, you raise the issue of the unification of exchange rates.
Yeah, but before we get to the unification of exchange rates,
Okay.
you see, it was also believed that removing subsidy and allowing fuel prices to be determined by market forces will stem cross-border smuggling of the product.
Yes.
But
Thank you very much.
what then happened?
Yeah, yes. You see, the same day they removed the subsidy, we got to know the actual liters we are consuming in Nigeria.
Do we actually know?
Yes.
Is it still transparent?
It's very transparent.
Okay.
Because if you like, come and buy it at the rate I'm selling, take it to your country. Nigeria is not losing any money. But during the subsidy, government will have subsidized it. Then people will smuggle it out and go and sell it even at higher price. So we are losing product, we are losing the subsidy.
Okay.
You get it?
Okay.
And then we are losing the exchange rate that government painstakingly searched for. Yeah.
Okay, but if you look at it this way, removing subsidy on fuel is supposed to free the huge tied-up funds for the government's use, and it should also reduce the need for government borrowing.
Yeah.
But now we've removed subsidy.
Yes.
But the government is even borrowing more. Why are we borrowing?
Yes. Well, if you look at it, the subsidy removal has helped in one way or the other. Like I said, the allocation coming to the state government tripled. Yeah. Is the effect of subsidy removal. Now, you said government supposed us to borrow.
Yes.
If you had it not quite long, that government pay back a certain foreign loan.
IMF loan.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. It's the positive outcome of subsidy removal. Yeah. Then you will see that our reserve has gone up. Do you get it? It's because of the subsidy removal. Now, government want to borrow. It's like me owning a company, and I want to borrow money. I will look at it. What down to use the money I want to borrow for? Do you get it? Now, if it is for capital expenditure, all well and good. Yeah, government should go ahead and borrow, because the capital investment will repay back that money borrowed.
But most of the monies that are being borrowed are for recurrent expenditure.
Like what and what?
Yeah, if we're giving palliatives, most of these monies are just, just giving out these monies to people. Why not create an enabling environment for production? We stop borrowing for recurrent.
I don't think government will sit down and borrow money and start giving.
Well, we have a list.
Palliative.
Yeah, we have a list. It's happened.
What has happened to our power sector?
Yeah.
With all the borrowing.
Yes.
What has happened to health?
With all the borrowing.
What has happened to education?
Okay.
So, the truth is that when you look at this issue of subsidy removal, as an ordinary Nigerian, how do they feel when you go to the street? The benefit is long term. Agreed.
That's right.
However, the people who are at the ends of affair, they are not part of those who are having the heat of subsidy removal. Is that leadership? That's not leadership. Because as we speak to you today, there are documents that have been available that the same corruption, in fact, that even something we are saying that is out is not even out. We have seen some of the political big guys who were disgruntled because they were not given appointment in this government to come out to say that it's a big scam. Even though we have not that subsidy that they are still subsidizing fuel.
No.
Okay.
I don't know if you saw the argument.
Many people have come out to say that.
Of former Kaduna State government.
If the government is still subsidizing the petroleum product, right, we will not be buying at this rates. Do you get it? See,
Sir,
the first thing. I can bring to your station the profitability templates that I prepare for any product I want to bring in. I will show you line by line how we arrive at the landing cost. Yeah. So as it is now, at this rate, government is no longer subsidizing the petroleum product. Exactly.
But is government subsidizing the foreign exchange because harmonization of the multiple exchange rates is also not bad in itself?
I want to go into that before you say, okay, let's finish the subsidy. You know, when I was actively in the dancing sector, when you want to bid for dollars to pay down our letter of credit, we go through what we call Dutch system, Dutch auction system. And I will just say something in proverb. You know, if you are on a queue to be served, and you look at it, that this will take longer time, and the time you will waste in waiting on the queue, you can use it on a productive activities. You want to shunt the queue. Look at the way of reducing your waiting time.
So you go through the black market?
Not black market.
Parallel market, as it were.
See, black market is even, because I'm bidding from CBN, which is cheaper for me. Black market rate is very high. Now, I will want to look at, okay, how can I reduce this waiting time? So I paid a premium on top of what what the price offered by CBN.
Okay.
Do you get it? I won't say more than that.
No, when you say you're paying premium,
the premium,
can you break it down?
I will not be able to break it down for some reasons. Okay. The premium I'm paying will reduce my waiting time. People should be able to take out that.
Okay. It's getting clearer now.
He said something that Emefiele cannot be poor again. Yeah. Part of the premium goes to him. Do you get it? Now, the Dutch auction system was cancelled, and we moved to high and high window, import and export
window.
Yeah, whereby the forces of demand and supply play the role, dictate the price. Still, as at that time, there were a lot of backlogs. It got to a time, if it did not amount to advertisements, the bank that financed my importation is Senibank. You know how big Senibank is. It got to a time that Vitor, that's the foreign supplier, rejected our HERC. Rejected Senibank HERC. I said, why do you have to reject my HERC? I have my program already planned. They said because the country is not financially trustworthy.
Wow.
Because of the capital reserve that have been depleted.
Okay, talking about that capital reserve, Mr. Peter Olaoluwa,
yes.
You see, we talked about the harmonization of the multiple exchange rates, and then, which we said it's not a bad idea.
Yeah, sure.
However, the devaluation of the Naira that accompanied it made the supposed gain count as a loss.
Okay.
So why did that happen?
Okay, thank you very much. You know, I will use this illustration. When MTN came to this country, you will see that the price was very high, exorbitantly high. Many people cannot afford it, right? But when Glo came in, what happened to the price?
They broke the monopoly.
Yeah. Now, when, as it is now, the price results to loss, fine. But as time goes on, the price gradually is becoming stabilized, right? I watch dollar platform every day. Do you get it? Now the price is being stable.
Is 1,500 naira, 1,600 naira to a dollar a stable price?
That is reality of what is. See, I'm an accountant. The past administrations are polarized it.
Administrations.
Yes, they have window dressed the financial system of this country, presenting what is not real as if it is real.
Okay.
Now, the president of Tinubu came in. You know, accountants, we are good administrator. Tinubu is an accountant. You look at that, he cannot continue this way. Now, the policy is introducing is to correct the anomalies of the past administrations. And you know what happens when you introduce a change? Trains will wobble as it want to fall, but later on it will stabilize. That's what is happening.
Okay, that devaluation that we are talking about, especially when you look at it, where we have over 300% devaluation, you know, as it were, especially when it comes to the oil money, which is in dollars. When it is monetized into naira, government makes so much money. But the devaluation, however, resulted in many negative and undesirable outcomes. When you look at causing, among other things, inflation, we have inflation, we have high cost of production, high cost of living, encouraging cross-border smuggling between Nigeria and its neighbors, lack of competitiveness of domestic goods with foreign goods in the international market, and also reducing the inflow of direct investments. If you look at foreign direct investments, it has dropped drastically. Now, is there any redemption, as it were, at the moment, or are we still going to wait again for some other years, be patient, and also hope that our hope will be renewed someday, and then everything will be balanced and come to normalcy? Okay.
Thank you very much. You will see, okay, one thing I could see or say is there is light at the end of the tunnel.
There's light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah,
are we moving towards that tunnel?
We are moving.
Some people say we're just stagnant, so we're not seeing the light yet.
You see, I put myself in the shoes of the below average earners, and I feel their pains. Do you get it? I feel their pain. But we need to feel the fact that we all need to pay the price. The price is what we are paying now.
How long? For how long?
It won't be long. It's just 2 years in office now.
And we're already talking 2027. We are invariably, we've edited 2026 from the political calendar of Nigeria.
See, 2027, talking about 2027, is based on this concept. Proper planning prevent poor performance. Do you get it? That is the political side.
Okay.
That will not affect the economy.
The economy.
No.
I want to know how.
Yeah. When the people that will run the politics, they are there. Do you get it? Now the people running the economy, they are there. So the two groups have different assignments. Yeah. And you know, one thing, I've been following President Tinubu political ideology since 2003, when he came to Babcock University, where I was lecturing, and he gave a speech. And I look at him, this is the man one must follow. He's a one that believes in saying it and doing it. If he gives you an assignment and you are unable to deliver, he will remove you out of the way. Yeah, that's him. He doesn't believe in failure. Impossibility is not in his dictionary. Do you get it? So it won't be long. I will just appeal to people to exercise more patience. We will laugh at the end of the day.
At the end of the day. Okay, yeah, John, you really want to react. You've been itching to react and talk.
All right, thank you, Mr. Peter. You know, it's quite enlightening.
Yes.
I think that...
I'm also learning so much things,
Our listeners,
our viewers too are listening.
They are also enjoying the conversation. But again, sir, what's the gain in... Because when you look at the state governors who are receiving triple of what they used to receive before, what has it translated to?
Okay.
Because some of us are of the opinion that this subsidy gain, you know, because all over the world, most countries subsidize certain
basic
commodities that
yeah.
people, as a way of encouraging the citizen, But again, because this is America you talked about, I have relatives who live there and they tell me how cheap food is, how cheap, things like meat and pork and all of that. And you come down here here in Nigeria, it's difficult to go and buy. And I was telling somebody the other day, as an undergraduate student of UI those days, when we live in Zikol, we just go Christmas Day and go to Bodija market, and with 1,000 naira,
you could
buy like 2 or 3 kilos of chicken, and you just come and cook, and everybody is eating, and your room is now, the happening place. But today you can't afford chicken. Okay. That's average Nigerian. So what's the benefit of this subsidy? Okay. That is going back to the same governors who have, albeit, never been able to bring anything to the table.
Thank you very much. You see, we have 3 tiers of government. We have federal, we have state
and local government.
Now, the federal government share their allocation and publicly announce how much is given to each state government and local government. And you will hear President Tinubu saying, hold your governor accountable. How the governor will spend it, it's not President Tinubu that will dictate. So we are to be after our governors.
Sir, but this is political statement. Hold your governors accountable is a mere political statement. Because at the end of the day, sir, you see, I know you've relocated to America where things are working. And maybe you are beginning to think and see things from that prism. But when you look at it in the context of we Nigerians, the president says a thing, is not translating to any serious action. Because
no. The monthly allocation, CBN or Ministry of Finance, we credit the account of the state directly.
Certainly, we know.
The cash will come down to the state account.
We know.
How are they spending it?
That's what we're saying.
Ask the governors.
That's what we're saying. That
is that President Tinubu? No.
It's still him, sir. Because if all of us are paying the price, ordinary Nigerians, I assume you are not part of us now who are paying the price.
I'm seeing
he's still part of us. He's not part of us because
he's not part of us who are paying the price.
His skin is still with us.
You know what? I'm paying. As I am outside the country, I'm here. I have 50 acres of farmland that I'm growing here. I employ laborers, workers, working for me.
So
I know how much they are billing me.
Those your laborers are paying.
Exactly.
Because some of them may not be able to feed well because they have to, enter public transport from one place to the other to get to the work, to do your work.
Exactly.
Now, the impact on them is humongous. Now, you cannot now say that a governor who does not even know what rice is cost in the market, he's not part of his business. The state is taking care of him. When this money gets to them, they use the money for a different thing where the development is not available.
They use the money for different things.
The federal government cannot hold them accountable. The citizens can't hold them accountable. So we're all at a loss.
See, that's why we elected the members of assemblies to be checkmating them. What are they doing?
Okay.
The assembly is not an extension of the executive in all the states.
Some say
the Senate is not an extension. Assembly. The Senate is not an extension of the federal government.
Hold on a bit. Now, some have said that the state houses of assemblies seem to be an appendage.
It's an arm
of the executive arm of government, as it were, nowadays, unlike what we used to have in previous administrations. So, how will these people checkmate the governor?
You see, that's why the majority needs to go back and think very well. When it comes to the time to vote, know the credible people you are voting for. You get it? Not the one that will go and rubber stamp whatever governor says. Okay. Don't let me depth into politics.
Let's not go into politics now. We're just talking about the economy.
Now, look at it. The allocation increased. What are the governors doing with it? Let's ask them questions. Do you get it? On top of increased allocations, some governors are still borrowing money. Do you get it? Now, look at the reform of local government.
I was about to say,
Who are the people opposing it? Are they not the governors?
Well, many people would want to argue that. Looking at a document of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which is the constitution, which states that the government, the state government and the local government shall have a state-local government joint account, where the state government, funds the local government directly. Well, until that part, Section 162, subsections 7 and 8 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended 1999. However, maybe it's been put on hold. By next month, July, it will make it 1 year of that judgment from the Supreme Court, and it has not been implemented. So what we are looking at is maybe they are trying to have a constitutional review to make sure that part of the constitution is edited so that local governments can have direct access to their funds. That might just be a discussion on that level. Right. However, if you look at, let's concern ourselves now with the positives now.
That's right.
Now, the policies have brought in some positives.
That's right.
And one of the major positives is the humongous revenue that has been, brought in through these policies. Yeah. However, this humongous revenue that has, that we're seeing right now in the polity, in the economy, we seem not to be seeing the relevance on the common man on the street. Money, we're making money as a country, as a government, but the man on the street is not seeing the effect. Is the man on the street going to die before we then see the light at the end of the tunnel?
Thank you very much, Ike. Like I said, the one thing that is constant is change.
It's change, yes.
Yeah. Now look at it. If I know that my income has not increased, has not gone up, and cost of things has gone up.
Yes.
As an accountant, what I need to do is to reduce my activities where I'm spending on and adjust my budgets. Do you get it? Yeah, so people should adjust.
Okay.
It may be painful,
yeah,
but I tell you, at the end of the day, you will smile.
Okay, so when
now
you
look
talk
at
about
it,
the adjustments,
look at it.
Okay.
Federal government also came in and play a role. So
what role?
It might not be substantial. They look at, okay, how much am I paying my workers?
They increased minimum wage.
Exactly.
So the minimum wage was increased despite the inflation. If minimum wage is increased, let's also look at the inflation in the society too, in the polity, in the economy. Yeah. However, is it minimum wage we should be talking about or the living wage? If you say people should adjust, now someone who used to buy 3 tubers of yam for about 1,500 today cannot buy a tuber of yam for 2,000. How should he adjust? Would he buy half tuber?
Let people adopt my style.
What is your style?
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
When I was still in the country,
yeah,
with how comfortable I was, I still delve into farming. Now, I plant yam, I plant cassava, I plant maize. Throughout the year, I don't go to the market to buy yam. The yam harvested from my farm is what I will store and eat throughout another year. Do you get it? The cassava, I make gari, I turn it to yam powder too. I don't go to the market to buy such. Do you get it? Now, if people can adopt that, God bless us with fertile land. Let people add to their source of income by venturing into farming.
Many people want to do that.
Yeah.
Many people have done that.
That's right.
However, what is the security level for these farmers?
Exactly. Chike, you can imagine. Last year, December, I came home. I wanted to go and harvest my cassava. A whole 3 acres was stolen cassava, uprooted before the daybreak.
Was it stolen or was it vandalized by herders?
Not herders.
Okay.
People that are hungry. The so-called youth. But they don't have anything doing. So government should look at, let's empower these youth. Let's give them, let's create job for them.
Yes.
Let's see if government should embark on enhanced agriculture, there will be job opportunities for youths.
Especially in Oyo State that has a comparative advantage of land, fertile land.
Oyo State should be a food basket to the nation. We should be feeding other states and be earning good money. See, Chike, there is nothing stop the government, Oyo State government.
Yes.
After producing, after farming, harvest it, package it, get NAFDAC approval, export it out, $10 as an income. After you've met the need of the people of the state. Do you get it? That will improve the earning capacity of this.
Well, it is easier said than done. No, it's easier said than done. You see, many of these people have their own philosophy. You know, sometimes I always ask, what is the philosophy of a government?
They need to get it right.
And what is the priority
they need to check it. They need to get it right. Governor Bukola Saraki did something in Ilorin, Sugar Farms.
Yeah, so
I was the admin and finance manager there.
Okay.
Yeah. I made sure I understood every bit of the farm. By God's grace, when money comes, I will replicate the same thing in my state. Yeah.
I know you are from Afiju.
Yes.
And Afiju is also an agrarian area.
You know one thing? Nigeria is sitting on gunpowder. Okay. Income generation wise.
Okay.
You know, I told you I just came back from the States. The car I'm using there, I'm not using gas. I'm using battery. I just recharge the battery.
You just recharge.
Exactly.
Electric
and
vehicles.
The Western one that said by year 2030, there are no more vehicles using gas. Now, if they are not using gas, who will be buying our crude oil? The government need to think fast. They need to think outside the box. All this we have just talking.
Considering what is even happening in the Middle East now, Iran, Israel.
You know the way out?
Yeah.
We should all go back to farming. That's the way out.
Okay, well, on our radio station, Dominion 106.1 FM, there is a program called Back to the Farm on Wednesdays by 8 p.m. and it's anchored by yours truly, Chike, here. So if you want to have more insights on agri-business, let's go back to the farm and listen to Dominion 106.1 FM on radio. Well, that's publicity for that on radio. Yes. Okay, John, your final words, because we have to leave now.
Yeah. Well, I hope that there will be some calm in Benue, and let us as Nigerians, you know, be strengthened and encourage ourselves to knowing that one day there will be, you know, we will see the light indeed at the end of the tunnel. We have to keep hope alive. All right,
Mr. Peter Olaoluwa, your final words on this program for Nigerians.
Thank you very much. Yeah, one thing I will still repeat is that we should exercise more patience with the government, and I believe at the end of the day, we will smile.
All right. I've watched so many families go down the ladder and only a few rise up. Those who rise up are those in political parties or close to the corridors of power. The next policies this government should now focus on is employment generation in industry and agriculture, like we have proceeded. Yes, raising the standard of living and reducing the cost of production, just to reduce the cost of living. There should be people-centered policies. That is when President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will have a meaningful administration to the common man. Thank you, John Izuchukwu, for featuring here. John Izuchukwu is a development researcher the University of Ibadan. And also, I also have here a seasoned chartered accountant, Mr. Peter Abidemi Olaoluwa. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you very much.
All right, let's keep this conversation going. Do follow us on all our social media platforms on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. The handle is at Dominion Broadcast, and on the app X is at Dominion Cast. Visit our website at www.dominion.org.ng. My name is Chike Ubogu. Enjoy the rest of your day and stay safe.